All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So we'll end the week looking at NVOS, TTOO, MULN, and GCT. Okay, those are going to be the four. Hopefully will get us ready for Monday, okay? Look, you know nothing is financial advice, but man, I actually impressed myself being ready for these last 2 days, all right? I know a lot of people were really hyping being in this gap. I saw a bunch of $1 NVOS posts like, no. If you saw the last video, we were ready. We were very much ready, and I'll be honest with you, some people on the Discord actually took a little better advantage of it than I did. I will be honest. I'm glad I sold. I'm not sure if I should have bought. I'll be honest. I didn't buy anything this day, and I didn't buy anything this day, okay? I'll give you my reasons why, but at the minimum, man, I am very glad I sold, and like I said, I'll talk about all that again on today's video, as well as obviously what I think is going to happen on Monday, okay? TTOO had a really interesting day today, okay? We're going to talk about the reverse split news. We're going to talk about the moving averages, all right? You know I normally don't talk about news very much. I do think, however, that reverse split thing is worth talking about, all right? MULN, you know I've been so mean about MULN as a stock in general. However, the last few videos I've been very excited. You can even say I've been bullish on MULN if you really want. And again, I think MULN is at least showing why I was confident in it. I think a little more was expected. I'll be honest, I actually thought it was going to do a little bit better than it did. But hey, green is green, baby, especially on a stock that's seen so much red, all right? And then GCT. I haven't really been covering the movement too much, but I think it's a beautiful representation of why I love the 8 and the 20 so much, all right? So before we go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself, as well as the occasional diagonal trend line like you see right there. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to the channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad. Look, anything you can do helps me so much with these YouTube algorithms, but for real, just being here, giving me your time, oh, I appreciate you so much, all right? So let's get into it, and man, there are some amazing things to talk about. Look, you know I don't like to brag about myself, okay? I think it sounds way better when people say I do well than it does for me to take up any minutes or seconds talking about how good I am, all right? That said, I surprised myself getting these 2 days right, okay? And if you go back to the last video, I spent a good amount of time on it, but I'm telling you, it really was a lot of this wick touching this resistance line, all right? There was a question today that basically asked, how do I draw my resistance lines, okay? There's a number of different tactics I use, and honestly, if you watch these videos long enough, you're pretty much gonna see them all. There are a number of times when I draw the lines live on the videos, right? The way that I draw, because again, let's just be honest, right? There's a whole mess of nothing. There's no reason at all to draw a resistance line right there on the daily, okay? Excuse me. As I keep zooming out all the way, again, there is absolutely no reason for this line to be here, okay? The way I made that one was I went to the weekly, I took this big candle, and I cut it in half. All right, that's literally all I did. And in all honesty, I've said this so many times, my lines are less about being perfect and more about being good enough. Okay, because when I actually move my money, I say this a bunch of times, I use something I call the 1 and the 2. It's not too different from the chart readers that we're looking at. But when I click into these two, my lines stay. The same horizontals and diagonals I draw here, they actually do here. All right, I just have more indicators and like a couple other differences here and there, but generally speaking, the colorful lines are doing the same thing on both, right? So that's how I drew this one. most people didn't have anything here. Most people saw a gap fill that we were doing really well on, and I saw so many people saying $1 NVOS by Friday. No. There was someone on the comments that actually said $1 NVOS, and one thing that I said was, look, on the weekly chart, it looks good. On the weekly chart, this thing's kind of telling me maybe 95-ish, right? If you look in the box over there, 100 MAs at 95. Hey, maybe 95 will happen, maybe in a couple weeks. Maybe if we can get a couple more green candles on the weekly, maybe, right? On the daily, no way, all right? And again, the main reason was this wick. All right, I normally put absolutely no emphasis at all on wicks, but I mean, dude, from here to here was almost 2x. All right, there was a lot of people that quickly caught a double in profit and sold. You know what I mean? So yeah. That's at least one more time. Go back on the last video if you didn't watch it. But like I said, I was ready for these 2 days. I hope you were too, all right? What happened today? Man, I'll be honest with you. I'm sure we can see it in the hour chart, all right? So, no, it's not as loud on the hour. Let's see if it's loud on the 15. Not really. Okay, the day, I guess it kind of is. Okay, look, this is where the day starts, right? Today is the 15th. I live on the West Coast, right? So that's why it says 9 a.m. instead of 6:30, right? But so the day was pretty much horizontal the entire trading day. For almost the entire thing it was, except for basically the last 15 minutes. The last 15 minutes, the last single candle is what really took this thing from 36 to almost 40, right? I actually was expecting a doji, because if we stayed at that 36, 37 that I just mentioned, the candle would have closed right here, and we literally would have had a gap down doji on a bad, not bad, but like on a key place, all right? The day actually did pretty well, and I say this more often with the green candles, but this is an example of the red candles. Today, look, I know everyone's looking at a -6 day. Today was a good bad day. Okay, what does that mean? Look, I'm going to click right here and we're going to look in the box over there. Today actually opens down here at 0.36 and goes all the way up to 40. More people made a little bit more than 10% on today than they actually lost 6%. Like, don't get me wrong, we were up here yesterday, we're down here today. That's not good. However, one more time, if you can open at 0.36 and you can go up all the way to 40, just like we did today, you made more than 10%. Okay, this is a good bad day. What else did it do? Stayed over the 8. What else did it do? Stayed over our uptrend, right? Like, we drew this on the last one. We is me, right? But yeah, I drew this on the last one, right? We are still riding the 8 and the 20 up. Good things happen over the 8 and the 20, all right? Things do what this thing did, which is come down from the 8, go up from the 8. Come to the 8, go up to the 8. Come to the 8, we're hoping we go back up, right? It's the complete opposite of when it's bad, right? You like this is a good one. You go away from the 8, you go to the 8. You go away from the 8, you go to the 8. You go away from the 8, you go, like, now we go away from the 8, we go to the 8. We go away from the 8, we go to the 8. You get what I'm saying, right? So we are still riding the 8 and the 20. I'm still seeing the 20 want to go up. It looks like the slope is changing a little bit, right? It was that. Now it's getting a little softer to that, right? Again, nothing dry. Hey, it's still going up. We're going to say the same thing about the green, but hey, it's still going up. I like that this cluster is starting to come up with us, all right? I was very confident back here that we were not going to lose it. I like that this is coming with us, okay? Because this becomes a safe, I use the word safe like loosely, right? But as much as I like this, hopefully it's going to keep riding with us. Look, if we lose the 8, we really might come down as low as 31. We might even come as low as 25 if this 29 doesn't hold. I think 29 should hold. We've built ourselves a nice little horizontal right here. It was already a line from somewhere else. Looks like it was this right here, is the gap fill border, right? So this should be a strong line and hopefully would be hard to lose. Also, again, I don't really know the math, right? I never pretend to, but I think by Monday, if not by Tuesday, this 200, this 20 moving average line is going to keep coming up to that 20 line. Sorry, to that 29 line. Ooh, that was a tongue catcher. So, you know, I'm still watching what happens with the 8 and the 20, okay? For me, and it's interesting because we're actually already there right now, right? But for me, I think this like 37 cent line is what I'm really watching, okay? And again, we just said it all happened in the last 15 minutes. I'm curious. I actually don't know what's going on after hours. It's coming down a little bit. That makes sense to me, I think. This one's hard. Okay. On this one, it was hard for me to say I think it's going to come down. This one almost sounds really dumb for me to say I think it's going to come down, but I think it's going to come down. All right. The RSI is like not even the crazy trigger, but I guess as I'm looking at it, I think the red line's over the green line. Yeah, look at that. The average 5, the red line is 76.7. The green RSI is actually finally below it. Look, again, it's happened here. It's like it's nothing I'm like overly hyping by any means, right? But dude, I think I don't like the fact that everything happened in the last 15. Let's go into the minute. All right? It all happened pretty much in this little 2-minute window. Maybe you can say this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like within 7 minutes, it all went up. Literally, it was down here at 36. 7 minutes later, it came up to here, right? I don't believe this candle. All right. I believe we should have seen a doji today. We should have seen a doji on the 8 moving average, and I think that would have been the easier signal to say, okay, I think we're going to either come down to the 20. I think we're coming down to 29 cents. I think that's what I'm going to end this on. All right. Yeah, I think that's my final thoughts here. Let's look at the weekly really quickly. Look, again, this is a fantastic weekly. On that daily uptrend, we close above it every single day, okay? When I say we're going to come down to 29, I think I say that while also, oh man. Dude, okay. I think as much as I think we're, dude, I don't even want to, I'm not the best at guessing weeklies, all right? Like anything can happen between Monday and Friday. I think for now, immediately my eyes are on 29, all right? From there, we're going to start talking about specifically the 20. I might be wrong here. Please let me know if you disagree. You know I'm not offended if you disagree with me, right? Like I'm not here pretending I'm perfect, but that's my call. All right, last video, we were up here, and I actually called 36 cents. I think I said 38 or 36. We were living on that. I think I'm going to do it again. I think I'm going to say I see this 40, and I'm calling 29. That's roughly a 25% drop down if I'm right, so be careful with it, all right? NVOS, you know I'm not a fanboy, but hey, I've made a little bit of paper on NVOS, and like as much as I love it, as much as it makes me smile to say that, hey, these are just 4 letters, and when the colorful lines tell me, I gotta put that smile emotion in the back pocket and like make the tough decisions. You know what I mean? So NVOS, I am not a believer just yet. I am not screaming bearish things though. All right, I'm really not. Like I'm watching how the cool down goes and what it does to stay healthy. Just stay over the 8 and the 20, and it's actually still healthy. All right. We did really well with this 8 reaction. I'm hoping the same if we come down to it. And again, remember, this thing's still going up. Monday opens right here. So like I think 29. I do. I probably didn't repeat myself right there. I'm so sorry. TTOO. Let's come into TTOO. And hey, today was an important day. Today was an important day. Look, you know, okay, let me pause and let me start with the like non-line stuff, all right? Just as close to fundamental as I like to get. The first thing I'm going to talk about today is the reverse split, okay? Obviously, there was no physical reverse split that happened. We were at 20 something yesterday, we're at 20 something today. The price is not moving, all right? What they did was they allowed themselves to do it at any time between now and November, okay? Two things. Number one, I rarely guarantee things, but I was extremely loud about the fact that I sincerely believe the reverse split vote was going to be a yes vote. Okay. Truth be told, it is not regular people like you and me that make that decision. That is heavy shareholders that are probably on the board and affiliated with the company, and like an internal decision was made. All right. That's really number one. Number two, look, the reality of the price is wow, I said is too many times. The reality of the price simply is, dude, we're under 30 cents. We need to 3x that number just to get really close to a dollar, not even over a dollar, right? Like if we 3x 30, we're at 90. We still need another more than 10% to get over. Like there is a mountain between where we're at and that dollar threshold. All right. And more than anything, look, I'm not here to like hope and pray and say that this thing's going to stay under a dollar, but I'm here to remind us a lot needs to happen before the trap door opens, the reverse split happens, and then death comes to this stock. Because you know, I firmly believe, I don't care what the four letters is, I don't care what the company's like, reverse split is death. Okay, so I don't like that the news happened. Knock on wood, it doesn't need to happen. It's really hard to believe it won't happen. All right, that is just personal opinion. I have no facts behind that. There's obviously a couple stocks that come to mind. I can't even think of them, right? But let me know if you disagree right there. All right. From there, look, I am very surprised that this 50 moving average, this red line right here, is doing as well as it's doing. Okay, I thought that this rejection of the 20 would make this an insignificant line and we would come here. I then thought that rejection of the 8 right there would make this come straight down. Today we pretty much opened right in the middle of the 2, but it decided to make its way on up. I am actually going to bow down and give a lot of respect and credit to this 50 moving average. All right. You hear me say it all the time, like these lines are no joke. And I think this last, 2.5 weeks was a really important reminder to myself, actually, that this 50 moving average is no joke. All right. And yeah, like I said, it's holding this thing really well. And hey, I did have a support line right here at one. I mean, there's obviously a resistance at 1.2, right? So that 27 is something. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot happening right there. More than anything, again, I'm going to give the credit to the 50 moving average. That said, we are still under the 8 for damn how many weeks since we're pushing 3/4 of a month under the 8 moving average. For a lot of it, we've been under the 20 moving average, basically since the 28th right here, right? It's only about a week difference since we lost the 20 to the 8. Bad things happen under the 8 and the 20. Really good things happen over it. Again, we see it here. We're going to see it a bunch on the other ones too, right? But dude, bad things happen under the 8 and the 20. As good as this 50 is trying to do, for me, again, I'm not telling you what to do with your money, right? But like, I would not touch TTOO under 36 cents. I think 36 cents is a beautiful place to get in and hopefully ride it all the way up to basically that 62 line, because it looks like that purple line's coming down anyways, right? But that's nearly a 2x move. And again, I'm going to delete this line, right? But between here and here, green, red, green, 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 red, whole mess of nothing until hopefully green, right? Like there's a lot to like over that line. I don't think it's worth even considering, like, you know, and again, that's just me. It is, right? But what I see happening is that's going from the bottom to the top, to the bottom, can't get to the top, to the bottom, can't get to the top. I gotta believe, I'm telling you, I'm still holding. I think we're coming to 22 cents. I do. I know that we're at 28. I still, and I bowed down to the 50. All right, my ignorance to the 50, I bow to it one more time even. I still think we're coming to the 22. I might be wrong. You know I might be wrong. I ain't perfect, but I'm still seeing a MACD coming down. I'm still seeing a very flat, really flat RSI, and really more than anything, kind of a downtrending RSI. And dude, volume's just ugly. Whole mess of red candles comparatively to green. A lot of trading under the 50-day average. I'm still calling it. I got no other I got no other reason to believe otherwise. I do. This is an important week. This is a doji close on the week. I'm calling it. This 20 moving average is at 21 right here. This thing is at 22 right here. I believe it. I do. Let me know if you disagree. Look, I have no idea what the FDA is going to do. You know I'm not a fanboy sitting here saying, hey, FDA is going to take this to the moon and this and that. Look, I don't know. I got no idea, all right? And again, I don't know if you saw last week's video. I don't know if you did it or not, but go look at SONN, S-O-N-N, Sonnet Biotherapy something. They got an FDA approval. I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure it was right here or right here. They're sitting down here right now after a for real FDA approval, all right? So just even if it happens, the assumptions that people are taking are nothing more than assumptions, all right? Wait for things to happen and either ride the confirmation up or avoid the devastation down. It's a beautiful system in my eyes, all right? Let me know if you disagree. Please, you know that. Let's come take a look at MULN, all right? I've said this so many times, all right? It's our job. It's our job to take emotion out of these four letters and let the lines do the story for us. It was my firm belief that we just did not know how to break the 20. It happened right there. It happened right there. It happened right there for a real long time. I was starting to feel very different about MULN, okay? The one big thing that it started with was how yesterday's candle closed, all right? What does that mean? Again, look, I'm going to click here and we're going to look at the box together over there. We open down here at 52 and we go all the way up to 57. That's a 5-cent gain. That's a 10% move. People made money on this day and we got over the 20, all right? Remember this. What happens before the first candle, we unfortunately look at the same thing, right? I'm going to click the box. We open up here at 255 and then we go all the way down and close all the way down at 198. We lost more than 50. We lost almost, but dude, that's a 20% drop. That's bad, okay? Let's go to the next one right here. It starts with us opening at 24.57 and we come down. Look at this one. Starts at like this was a different candle. This was enough for me to believe MULN is trying to tell me something's new here. MULN was trying to say this is not the same old pony show. This is not the same bad green fake out, bad green fake out, bad green fake out. This was a good green with a confirmation. That was not stuttering. I hope that was a good effect right there. That's a beautiful candle. All right, that's a monster. I almost said 13. Monster 19%. We are, as I click right here, you can see it. We're well above. Dude, we're well above like 80%. It's really hard to not believe that we've now broken the 8 and went to the 20 and are going to break the 20 and go to the 50. We went from here to here. We now hopefully will go from here to here. I like this MACD. We're starting to diverge. What does diverge mean? The two lines going away from each other. They're diverging. Still negative, but we're close. We're real close. Look at the divergence right there. When these two are saying the same thing, I love it. Look at these two candles, back-to-back days over the 50 average. Look at that nice little incline right there. Look at that good 3-day incline. Look at the good, basically, whole timing. Like, Mullen is giving us signals that things are different. Mullen is now giving us that in a row. When was the last time we've seen it? We've seen silly gap ups that don't hold. We've seen something like this, but look at how many more green opens versus these green filled to the one, right? Like, a stock will tell us when things are different. And I'm telling you, I said it yesterday. I hope you read it. Like, this was a good day. This was a foreseeable day as well, all right? Here's the next reality, all right? This 50 moving average. I don't know if you just watched the TTOO video, but I just bowed down to the 50, all right? The same line there is the same line here. Dude, we have never, ever, 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 and still have not touched that line since all the way back in February of 2023, okay? It took us 1, 2, 3. Fourth one finally did it for this 20 moving average. Is it going to take another 4? Are we going to be able to do it sooner and do it 3 and 2? Do you actually think it's going to happen on the first one? I don't know. All right. And normally I would say no with a lot of confidence. Okay. The thing is, Mullen is Mullen. All right. As easy as it is for me to make fun of Mullen and talk shit about Mullen and, like, you know, under the 8, like, Mullen knows how to do Mullen things. Mullen can do that like no one's business. It can do things, all right? Mullen, the reverse splits, it's now been 2 of them, right? Messed up what the volumes used to look like, all right? But Mullen pushes billions of shares when it wants to. Can you see what would happen if the 50 breaks and it went to the 100? Because, I mean, I'm not going to draw the next lines yet. Let's see what happens with the 50, but there's a lot of red to green. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not drawing the line. I don't want you to have $4.50 dreams, but, like, a lot of good could happen if the 50 breaks. I just want us to completely remember that we haven't even, like, remotely wicked it. Like, this was 1, 2, this one you can call like 17, right? Like, it took a lot of damage to the 20 before it finally said, all right, Mullen, I'm going to let you go in, like, a nice, healthy way versus some silly gap up you're going to, you know, fail. Let's see what happens to the 50. I'm not making assumptions yet, but yeah, I'll be honest with you. I am targeting going from 70 to basically $1. That's not quite a 50% move, but that's beautiful. And again, what am I seeing? Red, green, red, red, green, green. That's the goal, all right? There's a lot to like on Mullen, all right? Mullen couldn't do it yet. We're still under the 8, all right? We're still under the 8. There's still a very real chance that we reject this and we come to, like, 55, 56. I think if you tell yourself coming down another 10 cents is not going to happen, I think you're lying to yourself, all right? And that pretty much puts us back right here. It does. It basically says come back to the 8. But no, I like the RSI. I like the volume. I think the MACD. I believe 95-cent target is a real target here from Mullen. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. I can't believe I'm pushing 30 minutes. I did want to cover this stock though. GCT. Okay, listen. This right here emphasizes 2 things immediately that I always say. Damn, the other one actually starts right here, okay? But, man, there's 3 things that jump out on this chart. Number 1, a horizontal cluster. All right, when you have 4 lines, super tight, you either break up or break down horribly. This one broke up and it was great, okay? Good things happen over the 8 and the 20, all right? The 200 finally formed here. It never was an issue, which is great. And I've talked about it on a couple things on Discord. Sometimes you break the 200, you kind of come back to it, and then you rip. especially if your RSI is too high, like it was right here in the super high 90s, right? Some of you know what I'm talking about right there. Nonetheless, we keep going up the 8, up the 8, up the 8, just bouncing, losing but the 20, bouncing, 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 losing but the 20, bouncing, bouncing, losing but the 20, right? We devastatingly lost the 8. We devastatingly lost the 20. Doji doesn't count. That's confirmed. It really seems like we're coming to the 50 moving average down here at 1070. Okay. This needs to hold. Otherwise, that green, 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 red, 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 red. If we lose the 50, there's not a lot stopping it from coming to here. This is the next good horizontal. All right. Like, that's insignificant. That's insignificant. That's actually probably, yeah, look, that's actually where the 50 is itself, right? So this needs to hold. The immediate target here is 1064. Hopefully we hit 1064 and make our way back up. But from there, the question is really going to be, can it pass that? Hey, going from 10 to 13, that's 30% right there, rough numbers, right? That's not too bad. I think it's going to be really hard to get over 13, 15. In general, the 20 moving average. I think the 20 is going to be a hard line from this point on. So 855 is actually very realistic, okay? Be careful with it. And one more time, it's all about how it reacts to the 50 moving average right here. I'll look at the weekly real quick. Why not? I mean, look at it, right? Like you ride the 8. You ride the 8. Sometimes you slip below and you come down to the 20. Hopefully you hit the 20 and go back up. Damn, look how high the RSI was. It was 87 right here. Makes sense that we have to go from 87 to 62, right? So some of this, you know, was actually a pretty natural technical move. It wasn't a healthy cool down once it lost the 20. Let's see what happens with the 50. I think that's solid thoughts, and I went way longer than I expected, actually. So as always, you know it. Let me know your thoughts, but I appreciate your time so much.